Hi, Sean Barker back here with Coach's Corner to give you some great exercise tips for today. Specifically, we're going to talk about shoulders, working your shoulders in an overhead shoulder pressing format, and some tips because one of the most common issues we see is shoulder issues due to impingement, lack of mobility, past injury, or pain. Okay, some tips to work your shoulders properly, specifically overhead. Okay, so dumbbells allow you to work in a free range of motion opposed to barbells, which is great. And if you just have a few dumbbells or even kettlebells, these movements can be very similar. Some tips I like to use with the shoulder press. Okay, if you're going standing, we want to go in the rack position with two dumbbells held, forearms are nice and vertical, sort of elbows pinned into the ribs, core is tight. Now your legs are locked tight, you drive those kneecaps up into your upper thighs, because we don't want to do this. The biggest mistake people make, they go too heavy, or they start to fatigue, or they lose their core tension, and they start to sag at that lower back, extend at that lower back, and flare at the rib cage. Okay? We don't want that. We want to lock down the body in a nice vertical tension position as we work what's a vertical press. Now, I'm a big fan of having your palms facing in as you shoulder press, not out here. That puts a lot, that's sort of the classic old school shoulder pressing variation. If that feels okay to you, that's fine, maybe with lighter weights. But I'm a bigger fan of having our palms facing in when we shoulder press, okay? That way we're avoiding that increased risk of strain on specifically the rotator cuff, that shoulder. Palms are facing in, and we go straight up for the first exercise progression. Make sure you get that full lockout of the upper arms. If you can get those upper arms close to your head and ear, as you see here, that means you got nice, good shoulder mobility. Now, if you can't, that's okay. You can work on some shoulder mobility exercises, which I'll show in another video. Make sure you get in a good warm-up or keep it light, okay? Now, from a standing position, if it's the classic palms facing shoulder press, you can go two dumbbells up at once and back down, okay? Again, keeping that core tight, squeeze your glutes to protect your lower back as you lock out those upper arms. Now you can intensify a little bit more by adding an alternating pressing format, what's called as the speed piston press, like the piston in a machine that goes up and down to give you power. Those will really start to burn those shoulders and actually elevates the heart rate. So it's a great way to make light weights go a long way with those shoulder press. Now just from adjusting your positioning, you can intensify this movement, again, without having to choose heavier weights. You can go in a half high knee position. One front leg 90 degrees locked into the floor, back leg and back toe into the floor. Now you have more core stability challenge. You get a little bit extra hip stretch, and you can press up and down. Make sure you keep that core tight though. We don't want to go loose in that lower back, okay? Then you'd go to two knees. You can also go to the L-sit position. Now this one challenges the core a lot more, as well as challenges the shoulders. And you don't need as much weight as a normal press, because now you have no assistance from the lower legs. You'll really feel it locked down in these abs here as well. And you press up and lock it out. Keep that head and neck nice and locked in, looking straight ahead for the L-sit position. So just the positioning alone is a great way to intensify and progress your shoulder press without having to choose heavier weights and risk injury. And that is some shoulder presses to keep you pressing on. Sean Barker signing off today from Coach's Corner. We'll see you next time.